Hey, what's going on, everyone? So Westworld's Season 3 premiere just kicked off, and wow, we're not in the Wild West anymore. Our protagonists are out, in the real world, a far cry from the sandy plains us fans are used to seeing. If by chance you haven't seen the first episode, now is your time to go save yourself from spoilers. I'm sorry, I don't have the ability to erase memories like the folks down at Delos do. So with that said, proceed at your own risk. Starting off, Dolores is beginning to infiltrate the powers that be behind this huge company, Insight. She's essentially killing people and replacing them as hosts. How, you might ask? Well, she has those brains which she can use to make hosts. The problem is, she needs money to build her army of AI, so she tracks down a man who she came across in Westworld, who, well, let's just say, didn't treat her with the utmost respect. She steals his money and didn't even have to kill the guy. He did a fair job of that himself. Anyway, those brains are what host Hale smuggles out into the real world at the end of the second season. Dolores uses one of them to create the host of the man she gunned down who took her and tried to overdose her in the Range Rover. Now she has a host on the inside closely linked with a new company present in Season 3 called Insight. Now, on to Bernard. Well, Bernard was framed. Everyone in the real world believes he is responsible for the Delos disaster at Westworld, and because of that, he has a huge target on his back. Luckily, he has a switch now that he can toggle between Arthur mode and Bernard mode effortlessly. Because Bernard is a peaceful dude, right? He doesn't want to harm a soul, and that's why being fully sentient and having the best of both minds, Arthur and Bernard, he can do what is necessary to keep him safe. Like running through a man as if he was a god. Well, he kind of is. He is trying to figure out what Dolores is doing, how she will inevitably shake up the world beyond just the park she was once trapped within. By the end of the episode, Bernard decides he's returning to the Westworld park, probably to find some familiar faces. Possibly Maeve would be my guess. He could definitely use the help, which is a good idea since he is basically labeled as public enemy number 1. Now we get to say hello to Aaron Paul. He plays a new character in the show called Caleb, and Caleb is seemingly becoming Dolores' new savior, much like William was. He's been trying to get a job that doesn't involve committing crimes, but because he can't get sufficient support from the VA or make enough money working labor with robot colleagues, crime will have to do. It seems Caleb is going in and out of job interviews practically begging for someone, just anyone, to give him a shot. He is unlucky so far with getting an upstanding career. So he takes part in an online task for hire system that pays out to do different levels of illegal dealings. We see him do some courier jobs where he picks up items unknown to him with clear instructions on where to deliver the goods to. He also isn't beneath blowing up a few ATMs and all that either. One thing of note is Caleb refuses to do something called personals, which could involve murder, kidnapping, higher levels of crime, that sort of thing. Which might be an issue in the long term for Caleb because he doesn't have great stats according to the phone application criminals use who also commit crimes from the privacy of their phones. Oh, and let me not forget, he has a history in the military with a friend who was killed in action. In fact, because of the show's super technologically advanced world, he was speaking with the AI of his friend over the phone anytime he needed advice or more or less just someone familiar to talk to. But Caleb has since canceled the subscription, meaning no more soldier buddy conversations, I guess? Maeve appears in the end of the episode, where she comes to and realizes she's in a different park altogether now, specifically a Nazi World War II era environment. It's clear Maeve and Dolores do not see eye to eye, but what's really interesting is what's going to happen with the Nazi park. Is there a certain corrupt leader host that's going to take the spotlight from time to time? I mean, how would Delos create this and not have it so guests can kill the supreme leader if they choose? And what's with even showing us the new park? Is it because Maeve is going to build an army of her own, just like Dolores, except there's a bunch of soldiers already programmed to act and function like a real army would? Are they going to be released upon the world because Maeve sees fit to take on Dolores outside the confines of the parks? Will she become the supreme leader? And what does Adolf have to say about all this? I'm kidding about that last one. And what happens if these robotic German troops make their way into the real world? What the hell happens then? Anyway, there's a lot to keep up with going forward in the new season. Like I mentioned earlier, we are not in the Wild West anymore. At least Dolores isn't. If you want more recaps, breakdowns, and theories about all things Westworld, stay tuned and make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more of these videos. As always, have a great day, take care, and I will see you next time.